2 Oldsmobiles in this video? Ugh, I'm just begging for no views on this one. God bless America. And I wish I was joking, but Oldsmobile videos really don't get any views, and I'm not sure why, especially when it comes to the Hurst Olds. Because as you'll see, these things are absolute monsters, and dare I say that the 1968 is my favorite Oldsmobile of all time. It looks great, it's got fantastic power, and it has a moderate amount of luxury, not too much. Let's just jump right in, shall we? The 1968 Hurst Olds came only in Peruvian silver. You might be thinking that's a strange color. I've never seen that on a 68 Cutlass or 442, and that's because it was only a Toronado color. But for this situation, I think it was the perfect fit. So how exactly did this car come to be? Well, in 1968, GM was being a bunch of babies, and they said we're not going to allow an engine bigger than 400 cubes in any of our intermediate cars, which includes the Oldsmobile 442. To which in 1968, Oldsmobile politely responded, "Go f yourself." I mean, Oldsmobile is from Lansing, Michigan, if you know what I mean. So these monsters came with a 455 V8, and you might be wondering, well, how did Oldsmobile get around that 400 cube limit from GM? Well, their story was that they would send a standard car over to Demmer Engineering in Lansing, and they were the ones that would swap in the 455, which there were no rules against doing that. But ultimately, we now know that these cars, they did leave the factory with the 455, and then Demmer Engineering just did some of the finishing touches for them. Which, outside of that engine, there were a few other special items on the Hurst Olds. This would include a rear anti-roll bar, boxed rear control arms, power front disc brakes, a thicker radiator core, and a recalibrated clutch fan. But the crown jewel really was that 455 V8, and with a compression ratio of 10.5 to 1, it was rated 390 horsepower, and a ground-shaking 500 pound-feet of torque. And most people don't realize there were actually 2 different engines used on the Hurst Olds in 1968. There was the W45 used in cars that did not have air conditioning, like our featured one. This had decasting heads from the W30, the 308 cam from the W31, and a 750 CFM quadrajet carburetor. Then in the cars with air conditioning, you got the W46 engine. This had C-casting heads, a milder cam, and a 735 CFM quadrajet carburetor. So even though they were rated the same, the cars without air conditioning, oh, they're definitely making more horsepower. And who needs air conditioning? A little bit of swamp ass never hurt anyone, am I right? Just ask your mom. Inside, you'll find an automatic transmission that's a Turbo 400 that's been specially calibrated for this car. And of course, it comes with a Hurst shifter. I mean, this is a Hurst Olds. And there actually were 2 produced with 4-speed manuals, but the majority are going to be automatics. Out back, you had 2 rear gear options, that being 342 or 391. This one has a set of 391 gears. Now, it was rumored that the 455 used in these cars was actually slightly lighter than the standard 400. If there's any Oldsmobile purists out there, please leave a comment, let us know the truth. Regardless, this thing's an Oldsmobile. It's kinda heavy. With the driver, 3,955 pounds. You might be thinking, well, wow, I definitely would have bought one of these cars back in the day. I mean, just listen to this exhaust note. Well, keep in mind, production was kinda limited. There were only 515 total, and almost all of them were sold instantly, even with the very steep price point. The base 442 was $3,150. That Hurst Olds package, that was $1,161. That gives you a total of $4,311 for this car, so that was pretty expensive for 1968. But for the muscle car era, I mean, the Hurst Olds really was a factory supercar. Right out of the box, Superstock magazine with a set of 391 gears ran 1377 at 103 miles per hour. There weren't many cars that could do that in 1968. But let's check out the 1969 Hurst Olds. As you can see, this is a drastic departure from the 1968. Now it's covered in Firefrost Gold on Cameo White. So leave a comment, which of the color schemes do you prefer? Regardless of the paint, this thing still has the 455 V8. Unfortunately, the 308 cam was no longer available in any configuration for the 1969 Hurst Olds, but they still had the D-code heads. And with all that D floating around in this race, we better watch out for your mom. She's gonna come running. And there is a subtle difference in the power rating for the 1969 Hurst Olds. Now it's 380 horsepower, but still a 500 pound-feet of torque. Of course, inside again, you'll find the 3-speed automatic Turbo 400 with the Hurst shifter. And then the rear gearing was a little bit different for 1969. The non-air conditioned cars came with 342 gears standard and 391 optional, And then the air-conditioned cars only came with 323 gears. This is an air-conditioned car, but the owner has swapped in a set of 391 gears, and as you can see, they pulled the belt off the air conditioning so it doesn't get thrown off at the most inopportune time. And then we get to the biggest disadvantage for this 1969 Hurst Olds, and that is its weight. This one with driver, 4,275 pounds. But it was a really good deal for 1969 and quite a bit different from the 68 pricing. For this year, the 442 started out at just over $3,200, and now the Hurst Olds package, it was only $683. That seems like an insanely good deal. Gives you a grand total of only $3,887. But good luck finding one. They didn't produce that many. There were 906 total, plus another 3 convertibles for promotional materials, which you can't go on Facebook without seeing one of those pictures pop up, and heaven forbid you go to the comments section, because it's just all the boomers creaming their metaphorical jeans over that photo. Though actually, I guess that's not a metaphor. They're really doing that, so. Anyway, Motor Trend tested one of these cars in June of 1969, and it went 0 to 60 in only 5.9 seconds. Quarter mile, that was 1398 at 101 miles per hour. Let's see what they'll do today.
Left lane, Rusty Small. Both are very familiar with their cars. Always a good race. But the win will go to Kelvin, 1399 with a 1. Both are but the win will go to Kelvin, 1399 with a 1.
In the first round, it looked like the 69 Hurst Olds let off the gas, so the 68 takes home an easy win, running 1399 at 99 miles per hour. Let's see what happens in round 2.
Olds on the left, 69 Hurst Olds on the right. Calvin Badgley, Russell Small. Rusty is beside you with the red light. And he recently got Rusty in charge of something called Rusty
In the second round, the 69 Hurst Olds would have grabbed an easy win, but unfortunately they got a red light, and that gives the automatic win to the 68 Hurst Olds, who ran 1392 at 99 miles per hour. And with that, it's the 68 Hurst Olds that takes home the best of 3 title, but these owners, they're awesome. They decided to run that third round, so let's check it out.
Up next, Rusty Small, 69 Hurst Olds, 465.
In the final round, the 69 Hurst Olds again had a slightly better ET. The 68 had a better reaction time. They crossed the finish line first, and they take home all 3 wins today. Now, just so you guys are aware, the driver of that 68 Hurst Olds, reaction time in the first round, 0.04, second round, 0.01, and in the third round, 0.01. Hard to beat times like that. Huge thanks to the owners. They're absolutely awesome for driving these cars on the drag strip. Come on, you guys. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. Get on board. We're getting there together. While you're at it, give me a like. I'll see you guys at the next one.